媒介になり得るか実験をする。失敗だ。そう驚くな。だがアンデッドの軍勢が墓地の外に溢れ出すかもしれない。
ほら、おめえみてえに非常に徹するなんてどうやったってできねえ。大体そのスーパーサイヤ人ってのか。さてと、海洋圏を3倍まで上げてオラの体がどのくらいまで持ちこたえられっかな。うまく精神集中できるだろうか。ほら、そうだった。海洋圏。
ではない木の膨れ上がり方。3倍、4倍。いや。
どうだ。
なんだ。
かかんと。
私の教えていては成長できない。ですからで考えるのだ。この星のもののことを仲良くしていられるわけだ。この俺様の体に傷をつけるとは貴様は許さんぞ。
頼んだぞ、ソン。
お前がなかなか手の内を見せんからちょっとからかってみたんだ。さて、そろそろ行くか。
ああ、ついてこいよ。どうだ、特訓の成果は。
よく聞けご飯。氷を捨て、大会では勝負は決するまで絶対に油断するな。 戦った時と同じだ。あの時は勝負がついたと思ったお前は。いいぞ後半、それでいい。貴様はすぐに後悔することになるぞ。私にとってこれは進歩。さあ続けよう。
オラがよその星から来たなんとかってやつだろうが、オメガ兄ちゃんだろうが関係ねえ。悔しくてしょうがねえんだよな。せねえ。
本当にそう思う。しまった。
たあれは
素晴らしいぞ守護者たち。お前たちならば失態なくことを運べると強く確信した。
敵はどんなやつなんだ？
皆さんでしたらこの程度軽くこなせるようになります。
なんだ？何をする気だ？
再会するとしよう。私がずっと追っているやつだからな。これを使うのは少々もったいないが、なんて不利な戦いなんだ。
バカ！何考えてんだ？無駄に殺されるだけだってわかんねえんか。
敬う男の力をその目に焼き付けろ。正解だ。
なんてことでちっちゃんを踏み潰して殺したのも武道会場に現れて会場をぶっ壊した化け物ってのもこのオラだったのか。
今度こそカカロットだ。気がついたな。これらは私がかつての仲間たちを模して作ったものだ。かなり不格好な形だろう。
とりあえず行こうぜ。でも手合わせって言ってもガチじゃないんだろ？
私がずっと追っているやつだからだ。お前の目の前にいる私こそこの町で最高の冒険者であり、孫を連れ戻すことのできる唯一の冒険者だ。今は忙しい。時間ができたならば私の方から連絡を取る。依頼したらどうだ。まさに冒険者に依頼する。
うるせえ、黙れ。文句があるなら聞いてやる。隕石をぶっ壊したのは俺だ。こらハゲ。
そうですか。失敗だ。確実に死ぬぞ。
さっさと済ませて帰ろ
う。よし、では行くぞ。強い。全て回収せ。
か。うぜえ。
組合や町の人々に伝えてくれ。私とマーでは早速墓地に行こう。
絶対に許さんぞ。
では伺いたいのですが、依頼するというのであれば幸運だな。何の時間が経過したんだ。さあ行くぞ。
こんなに手応えのありそうな怪人は久しぶりだ。必殺マジシン。マジ強力だ。
なぜという不安は残る。何者かの精神支配を受けた。何かが起きて命令が与えられぬまま置かれた。そんなところか。正解ではないな。
師匠は俺が守る。
だがアンデッドの軍勢が墓地の外に溢れ出すかもしれない。
話しなさい。愛心官様。
理由は何だ。
おそらくですが、
だったらもっと気を引き締めろ。
そんなイライラしねえでくれや。
はいはいお二人とも喧嘩をしている場合じゃありませんよ。早く10人を選ばないと時間がありませんからね。
お前はいいよな。負けても消されないんだから。
悟空さん、もう少しの辛抱ですよ。さようですが。え？
おいウィス、お前何大事なこと軽く言っちゃってくれてんだ。
ほんのわずかでも禅王様のご機嫌を損ねれば、通り抜けてきたことで生まれた時空の歪みが 時の指輪の力に反応して。
あのさ、もう片付いたのか？おい、今何をした？
さらりと恐ろしいことを要求してますね。
新人潰しじゃなかったのか？いずれにしても合格しちまえばもうこっちのもんだ。そういえばウィス、大神官様はお前の親父だったな。
ビルス様は破壊神ですから、そういうことには特に敏感なんですよ。もちろん私もですが。
失礼な！僕のおならはあそこまで臭くはないぞ。
思った通りです。
本当か？悪いけどみんな先に蹴っていてくれ。
自分から消えたわけじゃなかったんだ。
やり直しですよ。
やり直し？そっか、ウィスさんは時間を戻せんだったな。
間違いない。別人だったとはな。
ユージェン、ザラマ。
宇宙を
海洋神がどうしてもお耳に入れたいことがあると、その謎はいずれ明らかになるでしょう。ですが今はあくまで現時点の推測です。一瞬で全王様のところへ飛んでいけますよ。しかし歪みは傷が治っていくように元の状態に戻ろうとしていたのです。
何これ、君誰？
スーパードラゴンボールによって作られた木の中に殺意がプンプン匂ってましたからね。
自分が全宇宙にとってどれほどとんでもないことをしでかしたか分かっているのか。ウィス、お前もついていけ。
だがアンデッドの軍勢が墓地の外に溢れ出すかもしれない。さあ、人がいる場所を探してみる。
Nice. If you like the show, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Come back again next time.
Is this going to be the last time that we get to see Master Roshi in the Tournament of Power? What's going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome to the Dragon Ball Super episode 105 preview breakdown. As right now we're about to dissect the overall preview for the upcoming episode of Dragon Ball Super to further analyze what's going to be happening involving Master Roshi. And I do want to say, guys, if you guys are new to this channel, be sure to punch that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you guys can be notified whenever a Dragon Ball video is posted onto this channel. Hashtag notification squad. I cannot wait for more spoilers coming up in a week, guys. We're going to be getting more spoilers. It pertains to episode 105, 106. Without wasting any more time, let's dive straight into the action and finding out what's going to happen. So, we do understand that based on spoilers, that this is going to be Master Roshi's possible final time being in the tournament. So, as we can see based on the opening here, so Master Roshi here looks like he's creeping up, and I really feel, based on the overall preview, that he is going to be doing something to where he sacrifices himself, but to what extent is we don't know. So we see him creeping around here. Now, I have no idea who this dude is. This is the first time that I'm actually seeing him I don't really reckon seeing him before. He, honest to God, looks like a rookie level Digimon or like some sort of Pokemon like from like the 5th generation or something like that. He's so weird. But what's unique about him is from the back, like all like, you know, the spikes from his back, it looks like he's either farting or doing something to where he emits some smoke. Now, I do want to say that I don't think that this is this character's final form. I'm pretty sure that possibly this character may have an evolution. But either way, I'm sorry, I can't take this thing serious. But either way, it is what it is. So we see him pretty much let out some smoke from the back of his spikes on his back or whatever. So it says, with the result of his training, Master Roshi is performing great. So it looks like based on his training with Puar, weirdly enough, he's holding his own in the tournament. So as we progress on forward, we actually get to see something very interesting here. So Master Roshi seems like he's going to be getting himself into a doozy. So we obviously see here that there is a female involved. Now, one can only assume that that female was from Universe number 2, but of course, Roshi's by the edge. Now, this is what I don't get. All of a sudden, Roshi puts his foot by the edge, and everything starts to break. I have no idea how this came to be. It looks like a very dark setting around him, because this overall preview is mostly dark. So I do feel as if this is going to be foreshadowing Roshi's demise. But either way, we see Roshi pretty much jump back. And right here, we see him prep. Now, there's fire behind him. And I'm pretty sure like he's going to be throwing down, possibly using the Kamehameha. Traditional Roshi. I mean, you gotta love him, going back to Dragon Ball when he was Jackie Chan. And everything he's done, training Goku and Krillin. And leading up into this very point and seeing the Grand Sensei being a part of this. I mean, hopefully enough, he goes out with a bang. But even prior to this, we see this female here. So I have no idea who she is. I'm pretty sure that it may actually be this little critter over here somewhere, if I can find him. I'm pretty sure it has to do with this person over here, because if you look at his face and like those little arrows or like those little symbols, you know, on his stomach, I think that it may have something to do with that female, which has to be over here. So maybe that's the creature's, you know, evolved form. I have no idea, but I've never seen her before. Even on the overall, you know, roster scan, to seeing her, like, you know, portrayed on the magazine covers and whatnot, I don't reckon seeing her before, but she's a female, and that's pretty much gonna be Roshi's demise right there. So again, comparing this episode to episode 104, I don't think this episode's gonna be as good, but either way, I could be wrong. So she's possibly gonna be staring down Roshi. Roshi gets ready, and what's interesting is, yet again, we have another female enter the picture. Now, it says, before him stands the Universe 4 Warriors. So, I'm only taking this as an educated guess. I'm going to say that maybe this female and this other female shown here are going to be from Universe number 4. So, if that happens to be the case, then so be it. But either way, it's two females, and Roshi's going to be in deep trouble. So, we see her here, and she also looks like she's, like, you know, in some sort of, like, emotional distress. But either way, Magetta's shown, so I have no idea what Magetta's going to do. I really doubt that he's going to fight, you know, Roshi, because it just doesn't make any sense in my opinion. So either way, Magetta, we see Magetta, you know, pretty much getting ready to throw a shot, so I don't know who he's actually aiming towards. Hopefully enough, it's going to be like Gohan or somebody different per se. And since Botamo isn't really around, I don't think that he can actually, you know, just withstand like insults anymore as he once did before. So we see Magetta in here, and it says, Master Roshi, are you going to risk your life to pull off that big attack? Now, in my predictions video, me and my friend Emish spoke about this and saying that possibly this may be something to where Roshi does the Mafuba, because the Mafuba is something that does drain your life source. So perhaps maybe Roshi's going to risk trying to seal somebody away. And my connection to that is going to be at the end of the overall preview. But either way, it says here, are you going to risk your life to pull off that big attack? Now, we also get to see right over here, this is Universe 4's fighter from Catella's universe. Now, whatever it is that he's doing is unknown, but, you know, relatively enough, he's still around, so he has to be important. I really doubt that he's the strongest fighter from Universe number 4, but whatever the case may be, I'm also guessing that maybe he's also going to attempt to attack Roshi, because after all this, we see him powering up. So maybe A, he transforms, maybe B, he gains some sort of power boost, I don't know. But there's not really too much to dive into this preview with, but overall, it just looks like there's like a plethora of characters being, you know, introduced that are going to possibly go up against Roshi. So we see here, don't Master Roshi, don't die. Now, whatever it is that Roshi's planning on doing, he puts this on down onto the ground. So My educated guess here is going to be that maybe Roshi's going to try and use the Mafuba technique in sealing that person away in that little jar and then throwing the jar out of the ring. That could be a possibility. Or maybe it's something that he possibly has a new trick or a new idea. But either way, I think that once this episode is over and done with, he's not going to last very long. So it says, don't Master Roshi, don't die. Next on Dragon Ball Super, it says right here, a desperate battle, Master Roshi's sacrifice. So I'm pretty sure that this female right over here, as you guys can see on your screen, I think that either A, she might be the one to throw him out, or B, Roshi may have his final KO in this tournament and possibly having to ring her out via having to drain a lot of his energy or life source and resulting in him becoming weaker and getting ringed out by somebody else. So either way, Roshi ain't lasting. And again, we see another female here. And what a way to portray this, because Master Roshi has always had a weakness for females. So either A, she's going to eliminate him, because I don't see Roshi getting eliminated by Magetta or some other character. I personally feel as if it's going to be a female. It only makes sense for that to happen. I mean, we had Frost eliminate Krillin, throwing back to Frieza and Krillin back on Namek. So that was kind of like a little shade and homage to that. So having to follow Roshi's history, I'm pretty certain that this might be the female, or possibly even this one, that's going to throw him out. So by the end of it, we see how this female is starting to strut and she's starting to like pose down for Roshi. And by the end of it, as you guys can see, Roshi's face just says it all. He doesn't seem like he's focused enough. He just looks like he's like just in full-blown perv mode. And thus far in the tournament, he hasn't done this. So I'm just going to make this little preview as short as possible, because I do want to get into several other things that I do want to talk about here after this. But either way, you get to see several females on the attack with Roshi, and they seemingly come from Universe number 4. So you can rest assured that Roshi is going to have a hard time. But then again, I'm also curious as to what this guy is going to do, because we saw him fighting base form Goku, and as Goku was pretty much beating his ass around, he leaped out of nowhere and disappeared. So I'm hoping that we get to see more from his character, and that he hopefully develops, and we see more from, like, his power or whatnot, because obviously enough characters like him, Roshi, the female character having to see him before, this one right here, they all have to go. They all have to make room for the top dogs, and either way, I think that this is going to be Roshi's final act in trying to eliminate someone. Either A, he eliminates someone important and causing him to be vulnerable and thus getting ringed out, or B, Roshi doesn't get any KOs and he just gets ringed out to begin with. So it also said, based on the spoilers and the translations, that Goku attempts to help Roshi, but he gets cut off by somebody. So maybe we might get something from Goku here. It does make sense in him having to protect his sensei, but either way, I just don't see much happening with Roshi, and that's my overall final verdict for that. With that being said, I want to go ahead and dive into the comment section of my Dragon Ball Super episode 104 breakdown review to see further what the community had to say in regards to Dispo versus Hit, alongside Goku having to make his re-emergence in the show using Super Saiyan God. So without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and scroll on down to see what you guys had to say. Could it be that the universes are going to be eliminated due to their pair? Like, since 9, 10 got erased, could universe 3 and 4 be next? Being that the universes add up into number 13, please answer. Well, I mean, as of right now, I'm pretty certain, in my opinion, that the next universe that might go might be universe number 2. I don't think universe number 4 is going to get foddered relatively quickly. I think that they may remain in the tournament, for a fairly long time. But between universe number 3 and 2, I think that it's going to be either or. Universe 4 is going to last a bit longer, but after that, it's going to be lights out for them. They used the same animation for Vegeta versus Hit when he hit Dispo. Wow, Super. Yes, they actually did that. They reused several different animations for this episode. Not saying it's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is they could have done things differently. Now, I'm all for brand new animation, and I get it. Some people are going to get all defensive, and they're going to say, well, they're saving all the good animation for later. Yes, you are correct, but the point is, with all the money they're racking in, they can always give us, better animation, right? So, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it was very interesting to see that. I mean, I thought I was the only one that knew it at first, but they reused several different shots from the Universe 6 tournament, and again, you can't blame them entirely, but it was a very clever way the way they added it in. So I just feel like, to me, they could have just done better with animation. And mind you, I'm doing this at 5 in the morning, so I am extremely tired. I got done watching the episode twice, so seeing that was just like the second time I saw it, I was just like, what the heck is going on here? Goku stealing Vegeta manga swag in this episode. Yes, the way Vegeta fought Black in the manga chapter number 22, I believe it was. And now Goku's doing that against Dispo. It's crazy. You were right that we didn't see much from Super Saiyan God Goku, but we saw so much from Hit, so I really don't have a problem with that. I agree. I think that seeing a lot of Hit was pretty good, and I love the overall balance that we saw between Hit and Dispo, because that really spoke volumes as to keeping them both evenly matched in the tournament so far. I mean, especially with Dispo having the comeuppings in the beginning, and then Hit having to get his revenge later on. Two things. I think Hit will be disqualified for killing. We were shown during the Universe 6 vs 7 arc that Hit's attacks are made for killing, so if he gets pushed too far, he may accidentally kill someone. Secondly, I cannot wait for a Frieza episode. Every time he is shown, he is seen eliminating someone. He is probably the most evil fighter in this tournament, and seeing him fight anyone strong would be marvelous. I agree. I disagree with Hit being disqualified, because if you paid attention to this episode, Jiren took notice of Hit several times, and he was studying him. The way he was staring him down, it was very, very intense. So don't let that fool you. I think that Jiren is going to, throw down with Hit at some given point, and I think it'll be suitable to see Hit get thrown out by Jiren at this point, because seeing Jiren's reaction when Hit was adapting to Dispo's speed, that said it all right there. So in terms of Frieza, I agree. I think that Frieza ought to have his own episode, and when it happens, it's going to be, as you said, marvelous. I want to see Frieza versus Hit, yes. Vegeta versus Toppo, yes. Me too, brother. Am I the only one that thinks that Toei stole Vegeta's skill and gave it to Goku? What the hell? Oh yeah, they did the exact same thing from the manga. And you can't be mad at it, because I told you guys, it's like, you have to compare the manga to the anime at this point, because they are using similar references here. Next episode is going to be hilarious with Roshi. I hope so. I mean, it's going to be a really mellow episode. Don't expect too much. Let's see. Take this into consideration. Dispo is Super Saiyan God level or more. People like to downplay Dispo because he's just fast but not strong. So if he is not as physically strong as Super Saiyan God, then that means that he is weaker than Super Saiyan God? No, idiots. That's like saying the Flash is weaker than Superman because Flash cannot lift the train, when we all know Flash can easily kill Supes. Yeah, with speed and precision, but not with actual strength. I mean, that's already been proven in the comics, bro. That's the same here. Dispo is super fast, the warrior whose speed is such that he punches Hit really hard when connecting, and that is why Hit was on his knees. No, you're right, but that doesn't mean that he's supremely powerful. That just means it means that he's utilizing his current strength and multiplying that with the speed, dude. If you're able to move faster than sound and light, despite how strong you are, you can still create a massive, shockwave with the amount of current strength you have, just by increasing your speed. So yeah, you're right. You're right and wrong on that. And Goku was sent flying with just one punch. Yeah, because remember, that dude, I mean, Dispo can replicate and increase his speed thousands of times. So even, for example, even if you were to throw a penny off the Empire State Building, that thing can do damage, because, it's traveling at such a high speed. With such a thing so small and so light, it can create damage with given speed and velocity. So that's all Dispo is. He's speed and velocity, and his agility is just unreal. But, Goku pointed out his flaws. Don't discredit Dispo. The guy is super strong. Okay, yeah, you're right. Dispo is Beerus level, of course. How can I ever forget? Dispo is Zamasu level. He's Merged Zamasu level. Dispo is Omni King level. I forgot. Come on, bro. Don't do that. I'm not saying he's weak, but I'm not saying he's Super Saiyan God Goku level. That's my opinion. You have your opinion, I have mine. Don't get butthurt, alright? It's a Japanese cartoon. We don't count Jiren because he can potentially even defeat Goku's new form or stalemate it. Well, again, you're making assumptions that you have no evidence on. We don't know if Jiren can compare himself to Goku's new form yet. Maybe you can compare him to the God form that he currently has and the blue form, but not the new form, because we don't know shit about the new form. So just hold your horses there, man. But I agree. He's super fast, and he uses that to his advantage to create high-speed impact, punches and stuff, as we saw with Hit. But again, I don't think he's God Goku level. I'm sorry. I just don't. Goku pointed out his flaws. He stopped him right then and there. Let's see. I knew Dispo wasn't as weak as everyone thought he was. He's not weak, but he's not like supremely powerful either. That's what people fail to understand. Like he's not like Super Saiyan Blue level or some shit. You know, Goku pointed out his flaws, and you know after he pointed out his flaws, that was it. If it wasn't for Kunchi, he would have been out a while ago. So, Hit Straight said, "Take this pain down with you." Yeah, he bodied him. He bodied him. You guys are all wrong. Birder is the fastest. Yeah, how could we ever forget? How could we ever forget? This guy loves to say, "I told you so." I only say "I told you so" once. So quit your bitching, you goddamn social justice warrior. Just enjoy the show, man. Also, Hit wasn't in any real danger versus Dispo. He was doing what Goku does and studying his opponents. Yes, as pointed out by Topo, which made him that much more dangerous. So, but either way, it's interesting to see the way Dispo operated because nobody really thought he was gonna do significant damage until he fought Hit. And again, Hit needed to study him, and as he was studying him, Topo even said, "Yo, it's a trap. You know, Kunchi, get in there," and that's what he did. So, I mean, the outcome would have been obvious. Dispo would have lost because, as you guys saw, once Hit moved through dimensions, you know, Dispo went right through him, and that was the end of that. So, but I want to know your thoughts on Dispo in the comment section below. Who do you think is going to ring him out? Is it going to be Gohan? Is it going to be Frieza? Is it going to be Kale? Who do you think is going to ring out Dispo? Is it going to be Hit, possibly? Is it going to be Goku? Vegeta? Thank you all for watching, guys. Once again, I do want to say, if you guys are new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. Turn on notifications. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like down below. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a wonderful day, guys. And if you guys want to watch Dragon Ball Super, you can go to crunchyroll.com. It's 5:12 in the morning, and I am taking my ass to bed so I can grow and get strong like Goku, guys. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.
This is the Perfect Being. I'm here to tell you all to subscribe to the perfect channel, Unreal End Gaming. Please remember to turn on your notifications to be the first to know about the latest in Dragon Ball news and information. And if you don't, very soon you will all be dead, along with your entire planet.
Kenny, Rams and Raiders, a couple teams who used to play in LA. The Rams are back now. Raiders are headed to Vegas. Marshawn Lynch, preseason debut, elected to sit Saturday night during the national anthem. Opening drive for the Raiders. Lynch first carry as a boy. You think, does he look like he took a year off? I don't know. He had 2 carries, 10 yards, and then they said enough, get that man some Skittles. Early second quarter, Raiders down 7. That's Derek Carr. What a grab by Amari Cooper. 31-yard pickup. Cooper had 3 catches, 46 yards. Later, Carr earning that gauge. Michael Crabtree. Crabtree's really the one who was earning the money on that play. 13-yard touchdown. Carr 7 of 9, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, did throw a pick. Jared Goff came to play as well. Cooper Kupp, 23-yard touchdown, but Goff wasn't the only story. This was the LA debut of Bills legend Sammy Watkins. Over the middle, he caught it. 2 catches, 8 yards. Goff 16 of 20, $160 and 1 touchdown. It is the Rams who win 24-21.
All right, Coach Herm is on board. This man's committed. Nights, days, he just 24 hours a day. Ask him, and usually we ask about quarterbacks, and some people think it's too much, but it's a rather important position.
Quarterback league.
Yeah, right? And Texans seem like they don't have it figured yet. They got a couple guys going after it.
Well, I think right now they feel comfortable with Savage. You know, when you think about how they're playing football, and you know, he's going to be the guy right now, but he's just buying time. Because I do believe this. I believe Deshaun Watson is their guy of the future, and that doesn't mean he's not going to play this year. But Savage has experience. He knows how to run the offense.
Is it a short leash, though?
Yeah, I would say if he loses a couple games, you can anticipate Deshaun Watson in the lineup.
All right, in Chicago, Cutler had all that talent, and he looked all right in Miami, by the way, the other night. But Bears fans like, come on, get us a quarterback. So they think this Trubisky guy, now that they drafted high, looks like the one, right?
Well, Trubisky is the future, obviously. But here again, they have a veteran guy there that played pretty good this game. When you talk about Glennon, now he threw an interception, but here again, he's got the experience. Trubisky, you can still see he's a raw guy, but he has a lot of talent. I like him on the move, too. They could do some things without him. They could change the pocket for him, and he can throw the football. So look for this guy. I don't know about this year, but if Glennon struggles, John Fox wants to play defense. He wants to run the football and play special teams. If you look at how they competed tonight, that's how they basically stayed in this game.
All right, for the Rams, Jared Goff, did they mess him up with his rookie season and kind of getting his head? Because he looked pretty solid in this game on Saturday night, but a lot of people thought maybe they played around with him in a way that didn't advantage him going forward.
Well, I know this. He looked like a quarterback tonight against a pretty good football team, by the way. I mean, he got off early in this game. And you know this, Kenny. They gave him some starter throws early in the game that got him hot. And that gave him confidence. The runner ran good. Gurley ran good. This looked like an offense all of a sudden for the Rams. It was like, this is what an offense is supposed to look like. So if they could continue to build on this Ram team will be interesting to watch.
There's nothing wrong with taking a young guy and limiting what you have him do instead of, here's the entire book. You have to know it. Let him know this much and succeed.
Little baby says this is what they were able to do to Dak Prescott in Dallas. Had a good running game, you know, and spoon-fed him. Right now, Goff looked good. This was his best showing that I've seen him as a professional quarterback tonight.
Coach, think about it in your 4 hours of sleep and get back on the air early in the morning.
I'll be back in the morning talking about all the games.
Enjoy the season.
Thank you. Football. Tackle football, by the way.
They drafted him number 12 overall. He looked so good a week ago. In fact, he was a boss in the Texans' debut. 15 of 25 passing, $179, ran for a touchdown. Coach Bill O'Brien called him a smart player, an instinctive player. Well, he was fortunate that Bruce Ellington was wide open on that one. 33-yard pitch and catch and a first down. And later, second and goal on the New England 2. Watson, like he did a week ago, he runs one in. He was only 3 of 10 through the air. Bucko 2 passing, but he did have that rushing touchdown. Now, let's go backwards here. Tom Savage got the start in this game. Second and goal on the Patriots 2. Savage, Jalen Strong hauls it in. Savage was 8 of 9, 98 yards through the air and a touchdown. And, oh yeah, Tom Brady started. And by the way, he's back in Energy Stadium where he and the Patriots won Super Bowl 51. And I seem to recall that combination worked out pretty well. James White catches it from Brady on the first down. Later, Brady out of the gun. Rex Burkhead in. Brady 6 of 9, 67 yards, 1 touchdown. Texans win, though. Tom Savage with our Mike Reese.
So much about the quarterback competition with you and Deshaun. How would you sum up the dynamic between you two?
You know, both of us, we just want to win, and that's the only thing that matters to me is the 52 guys that are going to be in that locker room and winning ball games, and I'll let the coaches handle the rest.
How much does a performance like this for you feel like you put a stamp, on the #1 job?
You know, every day you're going to go out there and you got to earn it every week, and I've seen it the last 4 years, and I know how this game works, and you just got to go out there, and no matter if you win 5 Super Bowls, you got to go out there and you got to earn it every day.
How badly do you want it?
I want it real bad, and I got a great opportunity. We just got to keep improving and keep getting better.
Well, Tom Savage, for the moment anyway, keeps the leg up on Watson with an efficient night. Again, 8 of 9, a touchdown in 2 series. Watson just 3 of 10, 102 yards. He's the number 12 overall pick, so it's a matter of time. But for the night anyway, Savage looked really good.
Chicago may have found itself a quarterback, huh? This guy, Mitch Trubisky, 2 pick out of North Carolina. Here he goes. Bears and Cardinals. And he comes into the 3rd quarter. We'll ask Coach Herm about that later. Mark Sanchez, Mike Glennon looking on. Trubisky's first drive. All right, going okay so far. Tanner Gentry, 7-yarder. Later in the drive, it's 3rd and 4 for him. And Trubisky going to try to tie it in. Useful. Daniel Brown. And the drive continues. Move the chains. Now it's 3rd and 6. Trubisky learns what it's like to take an NFL sack. Roberto Aguayo would miss the field goal, sadly, not pictured. Now, the next Bears possession is 3rd and 7. Trubisky almost picked off by Brandon Williams. It's ruled incomplete. But Trubisky hangs in there. Dismisses with that play. 2 minutes to go. 2nd and goal from the 6. Play action. And it's Benny Cunningham. Trubisky goes 6-8, 60 yards and a touchdown. The Bears were winners in this game by a count of 24-23.
Hey, hello everyone. Please remember to subscribe to Umberland Gaming for the latest in Dragon Ball news and information. Also, please remember to turn on notifications if you want to see Bulma's titties.
The The Tournament of Power continues as we move forward with the reintroduction of Super Saiyan God Goku within the Tournament of Power, as Universe 6's legendary assassin Hit faces off against the Pride Troopers, sealing his fate until the aid of God Goku, and which creates the dream team that we've all been waiting for, in Hit and Goku having to work together to battle against the common enemy. What's going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome to my Dragon Ball Super episode 104 breakdown review, entitled The Ultimate High-Speed Battle Begins. Goku and Hit join forces, leading into next week's exciting episode of Dragon Ball Super episode 105, involving Master Roshi and several other contenders of the Tournament of Power, as we are going to be winding down with eliminating the weaker characters and making room for the stronger fighters to emerge, as we are going to have definitive battles, as episode 104 proved to be, if anything, one of the most intense battles of the tournament thus far. And again, I do want to say that if you guys are new to this channel, be sure to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you guys can be notified whenever a Dragon Ball video is posted onto this channel. Hashtag notification squad to be up to date with all that is in Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Super episode 104 is now officially in the history books, and having to look at the overall episode preview, it looks as if Master Roshi isn't definitely going to be in trouble, because he looks to be fighting against Magetta and several other fighters from Universe number 4 and 2, and I think it's time for Master Roshi to go. And I'm going to be addressing this in my Dragon Ball Super episode 105 predictions video after this, and talking to several people about this overall episode coming up. But the episode preview didn't really show much, but I do think that this is going to be Master Roshi having to make his exit out of the Tournament of Power, making way for other fighters to emerge. But Dragon Ball Super episode 104 was an incredible episode, having to finally solidify Dispo. Now here's the thing, I told you guys back a couple of days ago that the reason why Goku is using Super Saiyan God is because he's trying to preserve energy in the form that Super Saiyan God is using less energy than Super Saiyan Blue. I made this video a couple of days ago and people called me crazy for using the manga to, back up the claims of the anime, and it turns out in this episode I was correct, in the fact that even everyone confirmed that Super Saiyan God burns less energy, and Goku is using that as a means and going Super Saiyan Blue and simply attacking Kunchi and Dispo during their battle. But with that being said, we also get to learn that Dispo is fast, very, very fast, actually thousands of times faster than even Hit's time skip, because in the beginning of their battle, we see how Dispo addresses Hit in being from Universe number 6, in being the legendary assassin, and that he is here to put an end to Hit's time skip. And Hit pretty much challenged Dispo in taking his hands out of his pocket, and the music from Sumitomo was just perfect with this, because it pretty much put an ominous tone to their overall battle. But in the beginning, we saw that the reason why Hit was losing, or at least he wasn't able to hold up against Dispo's speed, is because he didn't prep. He doesn't know about Dispo's speed, and Dispo was fast enough, even in the first punch, to knock Hit back so far where he broke the rocks and Hit went down. He went down to his knees, he was clenching onto his face, and he couldn't understand as to how fast Dispo was. But Dispo, even with that being said, was using this means of agility and speed to move around Hit so fast. Hit was actually able to hold his own relatively good until Dispo turned it up, and he was so fast where he was creating mirages and illusions of himself. And even Hit, just before, he was about to go on the attack, Dispo even pretty much told him that, listen, I'm fast enough to where I can even create illusions to where you actually think I'm attacking you, but I'm not, in which case happened in the beginning. But even with that being said, we also get to observe how Jiren, Topo, and Kunchi in the beginning were observing Hit's movements, and as Hit was fighting Dispo, he was slowly starting to improve in trying to, buy some time in using time skip to momentarily stop Dispo's speed, and in which case by the beginning, middle-ish of the episode, we see how Hit is at a clear disadvantage. He's trying to attack Dispo, and Dispo keeps moving out the way. He was punching and kicking him left and right. I don't think that Dispo is complete fodder, because even though I don't think he's relatively strong, he is, without a shadow of a doubt, incredibly quick. Sort of like the Flash to the Justice League as he was here. And we saw how he used the speed to his advantage, but Hit momentarily was able to use the illusion, this dimensional attack, to where just as Dispo was going to punch Hit, Hit pretty much uses this dimensional attack in order to get Dispo to go right through him and almost causing him to get ringed out. But of course, several times as Dispo was going to get wrung out, the person that saved him was Kunchi, the little frog pride trooper. And the reason why and the way he saved him was he used these ropes and these whips to pull him back in, and they worked as a collective team to fight Hit, because just as Hit was fighting against Dispo, we see how Kunchi was using these whips to hold Hit back. So how else was Hit going to do anything if, he was being held back by Kunshi? So I would have to say the only flaw in this episode was they introduced Super Saiyan God as Super Saiyan God came along to save Hit from being attacked from Dispo. But even as that was introduced, Super Saiyan God wasn't definitively shown as much as you would want it to be in this episode, because it was only shown momentarily before Goku kept cycling between Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan God, as he did in manga chapter number 13, manga chapter number 22. We get to see that in the manga portrayal as he was cycling through forms, but either way, we don't get to see Super Saiyan God as much here. He did fight Dispo momentarily, and as he was going to use instant transmission, Dispo was fast enough to even move away from instant transmission. So Goku at some given point before using Blue was at a total disadvantage because he was fighting someone that was able to outpace his instant transmission, which was scary. But the pacing is what was good. The overall downfall, and I will critique the episode for this, is that we didn't see Super Saiyan God as much as we should have. Now again, I really do hope that in the anime portrayal, we get to see more of Super Saiyan God, because to me at least, that was one of the biggest flaws of the episode, was seeing Goku come by the very end, and he didn't really do as much as you would hope he would, but he still pretty much left an impact to where you felt his presence in the ring, especially against Kunshi and Dispo. And this entire time, what I loved about this the most is how Toppo and Jiren are observing everything, and they took into consideration God Goku, Hit's dimensional attacks, so they registered as to what they were doing. And in this overall episode, we get to see a balance between Goku shifting from God form into Blue form, as I told you guys this before. And the reason why I'm so heavy on this is because you have to read the manga. In the manga chapters, they tell you why this is. They tell you why Goku's faster. They tell you why he's using the God form sometimes instead of Super Saiyan Blue. And to, sum up my previous video, I told you so. The reason why Goku uses Super Saiyan God is because A, it burns a lot less energy, and B, it's more balanced and sufficient in comparison to Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan Blue is stronger. However, Super Saiyan God is more balanced in the realm of using less energy and just being well-rounded overall. But as we get to see Goku emerge in this episode, Hit pretty much told him, I don't need your help, as Goku carried on and saying, I'm not really here to help you, I'm here just to fight them because I've been observing them and I wanted to fight them the entire time. So Goku wasn't here to help Hit, according to him, he wanted just to simply fight him. So the downside to this episode was seeing the underusage of Super Saiyan God. However, this is going to tie back to the manga, and the reason why I say that is because the manga has finally caught up with the arc. And once we get into the overall tournament setting, I'm pretty sure that whatever's happening in the manga is going to happen in the anime, and vice versa with the anime and the manga. But either way, for Hit was desperately trying to just have a little bit of time in order to catch Dispo in what he was doing. Now, for all of you out there saying, Dispo's trash, Dispo's fodder, I really wouldn't say that, because if it were not for Goku, Dispo would have possibly had the upper hand on Hit, except by the very end, we saw how Hit was able to move out the way and Dispo almost getting wrung out. But either way, Dispo also learned about what Hit can do, and Hit learned about what Dispo can do. So that was very interesting to see that, because they both learned from each other. The only person I would say was useful, but then he was useless by the very end, was Kunshi. Now, the thing about Hit was I loved how he finally used that one single punch that he did to Goku when he stopped his heart, and we see how Goku just went down in that overall episode. Hit did that here, and he nailed this dude right in the rib cage, and he was hurt. And we saw how there was another instant where Goku knocked out Dispo, and Kunshi actually saved him, and they were huddled up together. They were both injured, and they had to come up with a plan on how to escape them, because this was a very bad situation for Dispo and Kunshi, and the idea that they were getting pushed back by Goku and Hit. And by the end of it, I loved how, finally we get to see Kunshi be ringed out, and by the end of this entire battle, we see how Dispo recruits with Toppo and Jiren, and now it is down just to those three. Now, those three are the last ones on the squad as we move on to next week's episode with Roshi. And I don't see Roshi lasting. However, if anyone's gonna say, oh yeah, universe number 11 is gonna be the next universe to go, no. I'm pretty sure once Toppo and Jiren fight, it's going to be an entirely different story, because those two the entire time were watching Goku. They were watching Hit, so they know what to do. They're better prepped going into this fight as opposed to going into this battle blindly and not knowing what Hit can do and not knowing what Goku can do. But either way, what I loved about this episode was they touched up on the manga in seeing Goku shift back and forth and using Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God. So the one thing I also want to note is how Khalifa in the beginning was very, very concerned for Hit because, you know, at first she thought that maybe Hit got this, and as soon as Hit was going to use his time skip, you know, Dispo moved so fast. So you have to give credit to Dispo because he's not an overly weak character. He's not a scrub. He is a very sufficient character when it comes down to speed, because he is the Flash of, you know, this tournament of power kind of thing. He's incredibly fast, able to replicate himself thousands of times over in being able to be even faster than Hit's time skip. But the only problem that Hit had was he wasn't able to adapt quick enough. And once he adapted by the very end, we see how he pretty much punched Dispo in the gut, and the way he held him by the ears and telling him, "You're finished." By the end of it, he managed to escape, but once they battle again, at which point I do think they will, it's going to be an entirely different story. So by the end of it, as a token of appreciation for Goku, Hit didn't want to, you know, combat him right then and there, and Goku said, "I am going to fight you at some given point." So they are going to fight. I'm pretty sure that they are going to fight. The only question is when, and you have to hold that battle off until, of course, you know, the other characters get ringed out. So my overall thoughts on this episode, it was one of the best episodes, I think, since Khalifa having to fight with Goku and Kale having to run amok on everyone else. This was way better than last week's episode, in my opinion. This was way better than the episode before that. Of course, we still have a few other episodes to go involving Tien, the androids, Master Roshi, Piccolo, the Universe 6 Namekians, Kale, Khalifa, Universe number 2, Universe number 4, Universe number 3 with Moscow's fighters. But I'm also predicting that at some given point, I think that Dispo is going to fight Gohan, and I do think that Gohan versus Dispo ought to be, you know, a definitive fight to have, because I think between those two, with Gohan's heightened awareness and Dispo's speed, it'll be a match, I think, very suitable for the overall tournament setting. But either way, I also want to touch up on just the way, you know, just Dispo's functionality was as a character, because you have to ask yourself, where was this speed this entire time? Where was Dispo's speed when he ran into the plant monster? That's what I'm not understanding, because this entire time we understood that Dispo was in a situation to where he was in trouble during that one filler episode with him and the plant monster, and you're telling me that he wasn't able to out, you know, maneuver that, but here he's able to beat out time skip. Either way, I think that time skip at first was useless because Hit needed some time to prep and understand what Dispo was doing, and Dispo was very surprised that, you know, he wasn't able to bring Hit down. And one can argue and say that maybe Dispo could have won. I still think that Hit would have beat him, but the way Dispo was functioning, it was very suitable for that, you know, for that moment of battle, because, you know, here we have time skip versus a character who's supposedly thousands of times faster than even time skip. So I love how Dispo pretty much introduces himself to Hit and knows about Hit, because it would have been really weird if he didn't, but either way, he addresses him as the Universe 6 assassin. So I would like to know what you guys have to say down in the comment section below about this. And again, the only flaws I would say is we didn't get enough. And the episode felt really fast. And obviously, I understand that this may play off to where, you know, we might see the bigger and badder fights come very soon, because they have to get rid of the other characters. They have to get rid of the fodder characters. And we still have to see stuff from Frost, from Frieza. Where was Frost? Where was Frieza? You know, like they've been hiding these characters, you know, for such a long time now. The only time we saw Frost involved was when he ringed out Krillin, and Frieza having to pretty much, you know, stand around and not do anything at all. So hopefully enough, we get to see some involvement between Topo and Frieza, or some other character involving Frieza, because those characters need to be portrayed. Next week's episode is going to involve Master Roshi. So post your comments down below, guys. Did you guys enjoy this episode? Did you guys hate this episode? What were your overall thoughts on time skip and, you know, Dispo's ability to pretty much outpace time skip and being able to move around it? What are your overall thoughts on God Goku having to shift from Super Saiyan God to Super Saiyan Blue and vice versa? What are your overall thoughts on Super Saiyan God having to be shown for a little under 5 minutes? Because even as Goku was fighting Dispo, he acknowledged that Dispo wasn't really a scrub, which I love, because if Dispo got foddered so quickly, that would have, you know, drained all the credibility from that team, because you're telling me that only 2 of these Pride Troopers are able to, you know, hold their own in battle, and the other 8 are fodder, you know. So I'm really glad that even with Kunchi, he had like these webs that he was hoping that Goku stepped on and it would blow up. So this was, in my opinion, a very solid episode. But you also have to take into consideration as to what did Jiren know? Because if you looked very closely at Jiren's face and his reaction, he didn't look happy, but he also looked like he was pretty much studying what was happening between Dispo and Hit, because he wasn't going to drop this. He was obviously being very observant, and you can tell that he was pretty much plotting something in the fact that his overall demeanor, he's standing there, he's not saying nothing, he's not doing nothing, and realizing that his own friends are getting ringed out, and for him not to do anything, you have to have a lot of confidence in yourself to go into this and saying, you know what, even if my partners get ringed out, it's fine, because I know what I'm capable of, and I'm studying my surroundings, and I'm understanding these fighters, and when I approach them, it's going to be an entirely different story. So post your comments down below, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below on this episode. If you guys hated it, let me know. If you guys loved it, let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to go on ahead and slap a like down below. Tune back in for more, guys. And if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
This is the Perfect Being. I'm here to tell you all to subscribe to the perfect channel, Unreal End Gaming. Please remember to turn on your notifications to be the first to know about the latest in Dragon Ball news and information. And if you don't, very soon you will all be dead, along with your entire planet.
Dragon Ball Super Episode 104 is now officially in the history books as we move on forward into Dragon Ball Super Episode 105. And joining me here today to share our thoughts and predictions going into next week's episode is Dragon Ball YouTuber Emish is Live, as we're further going to be discussing the events that are going to be following in next week's episode. And again, we highly encourage you guys to post your comments down below and let us know what you guys have to say in regards to Dragon Ball Super Episode 105. And again, I do also want to say, guys, this is going to be an opinionated video, so if your opinions differ, if you guys agree or disagree, let us know down below. Emish, welcome back to the channel once again. Dragon Ball Super Episode 104, bro, was really good. I think it was a really suited episode, especially when it comes down to explaining the manga more or less to the people that haven't read it in comparison to Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. But next week, it looks like we're going to be entering the Master Roshi episode, to where finally it looks like, you know, judging based on the preview, that Roshi's going to be, you know, trying to sacrifice his life into either preventing someone and attacking him, or perhaps trying to ring somebody out. Now, we spoke briefly off camera as to what you think is going to happen, so right off the bat, why don't you let the world know, what do you expect to see from Master Roshi next week? Because I'm calling it now, he's going to get ringed out. You have to, because, I mean, it's been weeks and nobody's been thrown out. So, right. What's your take on Master Roshi going into next week's episode?
Well, first, if he gets rung out, then it's fine. It's expected. We've been talking about that for quite some time now. Yeah. But you know, what they're trying to portray is him risking his life. No, Roshi, don't die. All this other stuff. Yeah. I don't necessarily think he's going to die.
No, he's not going to die.
But if he did, for example, let's just theoretically say if he did, that would add so much like intensity to the whole to the whole concept of this arc so far.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he was the last person you would think would actually die, let alone somebody being killed. And technically, he wasn't killed by somebody, so it's not against the rules. He does something that may cause him to lose his life. What I personally believe, based on him placing that little jar on the floor, based on the previews explaining the concept of no Roshi, don't die, we know that the concept is the Turtle Hermit's secret plan. He has this plan or whatever, and he's in a tight spot, whatever. Calling it right now, Mafuba is incoming. Definitely.
All right, so we just spoke about this a little bit off camera. Why do you think it's Mafuba? I mean, it's a great method to use if you want to seal somebody away and then kick the jar away or whatnot. But why do you think it's going to be Mafuba out of all things?
Well, we saw his Thunder Flash surprise attack, whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
We saw that. Next thing we need to see now. We've seen him. We've seen that. So the next thing, and if you want to look at the original Boogie Back outro, stuff like that, if you want to consider that, you know, Master Roshi, aside from the original inventor of it, he was the next person in line to actually utilize this technique. And what better way to see it than now, especially if he's going to get rung out. I would think that if he gets wrung out while at the same time sealing somebody away, or not sealing them, but you know, that person away indefinitely, temporarily, just enough where you could seal them into the jar and then just throw the jar out afterwards, and then as a result of that, you get wrung out, that's okay, as long as he He handles his thing as long as he gets down. I think that's going to be great to see. I think it's going to give Roshi a lot of credit and a lot of points on people's books who think that Roshi isn't exactly, a hard hitter in this tournament. He has techniques. We can't deny that. I am calling it right now. It's going to be Mafuba because we know that the Mafuma drains, it drains an insane amounts of your actual life energy. Not just, even though Ki is life energy, but like your life essence, like it really severely weakens you. Granted that Roshi just came from using that Thunder Flash attack, which actually he can't move after using it and while he's using it, right? So we have this other technique being the Mafuba that after utilizing it, he's going to be severely weakened as a result of that. And the jar is a dead giveaway, right? There's really no other reason for him to do that unless he just decided to bring a shot of tequila, some vodka, whatever.
Yeah. He's gonna drink before he
quick shot. Exactly. I don't see that happening. He doesn't need the seal because we saw when Trunks temporarily sealed Zamasu using the Mafuba, Zamasu was in there for a brief period of time. Though not that long, they were in there for a brief period of time, and they were able to until Zamasu broke out. So we can say that, he's going to seal one fighter, maybe more than one, from Universe 4, right? And then someone's going to kick him off, or maybe he may kick it off, or someone else may kick him off the ring or whatever, and that's that. And after that, he may be so weak that he may actually maybe throw himself out of the ring, or maybe someone else may come from behind and toss him out of the ring, which wouldn't be a surprise. But I'm calling it right now. Mafuba incoming, all the tidbits, all the little hints in the preview, just the previews alone, kind of really point to that concept of the Mafuba, which I'm really excited for. I love the Mafuba.
So what are you calling right now? Universe 2, Universe 4, or Universe 6 throwing him out? Because we saw the best of all three. We saw Magetta, we saw that Universe 4 fighter, and we saw somebody else from Universe number 2. So which universe do you think is more prone to throwing him out, if anything?
Well, we're gonna find out for sure. Was Kawe from Universe 2 or Universe 4? I think she's
confirmed to be Universe 2. I mean, it's just made up of mostly females, if anything. So
yeah. So okay, let's just directly say Kawe is from Universe 2. The preview, that's the thing. The preview doesn't really showcase who he's going to use this attack on, but they really capitalized on Kawe. So,
there were a lot of fighters shown too, so it's like, oh man, who do we focus on?
It's really looking like Roshi's getting down with Universe 4. The previews specifically say Roshi's getting it down with Universe 4.
Yeah,
not word for word, but they mention him versus Universe 4. So I would imagine that it's going to be, I would say Universe 4. If Kawe's from Universe 2, I would say someone from Universe 4. Granted that we haven't seen anything from him in quite some time. We just got done seeing Universe 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even if they introduce another Universe 2 fighter, that's okay. But ultimately, the reappearance of Universe 4, they have to give a kill or a knockout to Universe 4 to make them feel competitive and to make Universe 7 look as if they don't necessarily have a dream team, because we have not seen anybody got rung out from Universe 7. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's only fair that Universe 4 takes the kill, takes the KO for this, as a result of Roshi being severely weakened after using the Mafuba, regardless of who uses it on. So I would say Universe 4.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Universe 2 on this one. There's something about Universe 2 that they're very vengeful. So it looks like, especially after Foxy and all these girls got wrung out, it's like Brienne was just very mad. But I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna be from one of them, because it only makes sense to me that to have a female fighter from that universe, ring them out. But then again, I could be wrong. But if anything, I think that we should see more from Universe 3, because Jesus,
Unless Frost comes out of the blue.
Oh yes, Max. Yeah. Listen. Everything, and there's still, after this episode, there's still 35 minutes left. That is just
35.
Wild. But we haven't seen much from it's crazy, because if these episodes were longer, of course we'd see more. But it's like whatever. I completely forgot about Universe 3. I'm like, yo, where are these guys? They're just you can't.
They have a couple people left.
Yeah, but it's just one of the guys, actually Pepperoni, controls a plethora of fighters. So it's where is he? Where are these dudes? I'm pretty sure we're gonna get more of them, probably fighting Universe 7 and whatnot. Maybe they're gonna get more eliminations from that universe, onto our guys. But going into next week's episode, possibly. But going into next week's episode, do you see any other involvement from any other major character aside from Roshi? I'm pretty sure they're gonna have little side pieces here and there. Do you see any side pieces coming from Gohan, Piccolo? Possibly even, seeing Frieza do something, because we saw Goku in this episode, even though it wasn't much. He showed up towards the middle-ish, towards ending of the episode. Do you see anything happening from any other character going into next week, or is it just going to be Roshi and Roshi only?
I feel like we're gonna see Goku or a little bit of Goku in every episode. Whether or not he actually fights is really, we haven't
Just
seen
seeing
him
him
fight
pop
every
up.
episode.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be there. So we know based on spoilers that he apparently tries to save him, but somebody gets in his way. We don't know who exactly it is. To my knowledge, at this point in time, I'm not sure who it was unless it was confirmed already.
Right.
So based on spoilers, we know that somebody gets in his way. So there you go. That's that. And then Roshi, this is going to be Roshi's episode for sure. I mean, it's always expected to see extra people. Obviously, we're going to see Goku, whoever's fighting him, whoever gets in his way. Maybe it might be that chicken leg dude, that rooster leg, whatever his name is, from Universe 4, who might get in his way again, the same way he got in his way when in the first episode when Goku was charging towards Tobo.
Yeah.
That could be another thing. I would like to see Frieza. I don't know what the heck he's doing.
Yo, it's like, where are some of these guys?
I would like to see Vegeta. Don't know what the heck he's doing. Would like to see something, definitively from Piccolo, I guess, even though we just kind of got something from him, but it's like, was it really enough? We haven't really gotten enough of Piccolo.
Right.
I think he has a lot more to offer. We got an episode 17 done, 18 got some work done. Universe 7 overall has gotten their work done. Now, now the question rises, well, Emish, that doesn't necessarily mean we have to have, one episode per character. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that generally these are characters who hold a lot of history behind the series. If you want to argue that, well, Tien comes all the way back from the Dragon Ball days, right? Well, Tien at this point in time, it's safe to say he's a support character. Well, I would like to see more support from Tien, for example. I would like to see just more, I guess, more diversity. But then again, you can't really cram all of that into one episode without them.
Impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's really hard. But I will say, just to get out there, this episode, what made this episode, and I'm actually working on my review of the battle, the fight between.
We're about to talk about that in like a few seconds. That was.
I will say what made this fight so freaking good, Alex, is the explanations, the in-depth analysis.
Finally, right?
But you could tell they actually tried to deliver an idea and a concept to explain everything, and that's what made me appreciate this episode so much. It's not even so much Super Saiyan God Goku. It's not even so much the fight.
Right.
It's the fact that as they're fighting, you're being given an analysis of some kind. And it was a very, very good analysis. It was a very good explanation.
They explained more or less about Dispo,
yes.
how he functions with the whole your muscles make a noise and he's able to and plus Goku's utilization. Same thing as the manga. As everyone called me crazy, I was like, guys, read the manga chapter. You were there, bro. I can't stress this enough.
Been saying it for like 4 months now.
It's obvious, and they're going based off the information from the manga. So for anyone out there who wants to say to me, don't use the manga, to compare the anime, you can do that, especially when there's info that the anime cannot, contract, at least as of right now. So, but going back to episode 104, what did you think of, because early on, right, it made sense. Dispo was fast enough to just not only hear his, body, tense up, and then he heard his muscle. He's a hare, by the way, so it's like, that explains, the whole concept between the tortoise and the hare is extremely fast, but it made sense. And he's able to increase his speed, thousands of times beyond normal comprehension, superhuman speed. What did you think of, the early fight going into, towards, the end? Because what was happening is, even Hit admitted it, he needed a little bit of prep time to understand what was happening, and Topo pointed that out. He was like, look, because what's the little frog dude's name? Once Kunchi actually told Topo, oh yeah, we got the battle won. Topo was like, no. If you really pay attention, it looks like Hit is allowing himself to get hit, and he's studying this pony, and he's improving, and that's why he said, yo, this is not an ordinary fighter. We have to. Yeah. So what did you think of all that?
I agree with it. I mean, it's clear to see. Can I gloat a little bit?
Oh, you can go ahead.
Dispo, I'm not going to say he's fodder, just for the sake of the comment section. I'm actually going to mention that in my video as well. But it's not so much Dispo was beating Hit. He was taking it, and he was, don't get me wrong. It comes down to yes. But he wasn't beating Hit's time skip. He was stopping Hit from using the time skip. It's a complete difference. He wasn't faster than time skip at all. It's just a matter of he struck at the opportune moment, and then we got a beautiful explanation as to what allowed him to do that, and I was satisfied with it. And I said it on our videos before. I said, listen, if they can give us an explanation without fucking pulling it out of their ass, and excuse me for cursing, then I would appreciate that very much. Because to go from not being able to dodge a plant monster, Nariyama, and all this other junk is just absurd to me. And then in an instant, he can increase his speed thousands of times. But then guess what? as the fight progressed, we got more confirmation from Goku himself, and even Hit mentioned it early on, that Dispo cannot change or alter his speeds after he already, creates an action. Meaning, if he already exerts himself and charges at you, he cannot change his direction. He's too linear, like Goku said. He's too straightforward in his attacks. That's a severe problem, especially when you're fighting guys like Hit. You cannot do that to Hit and expect to come out to survive. If it wasn't for the tournament,
if it wasn't for the tournament, I think Hit would create other motives and stuff. Other alternatives.
But it was a good explanation. I'll accept it. Dispo is nowhere near its level. I'm telling you guys right now. Even from the get-go,
speed is very admirable, though. You have to admire his speed. It's
Topo confirmed. He said, listen, Hit is adapting to Dispo's movements. That's word for word what he said. He's adapting to his movements, and he's improving. Could he be getting hit on purpose? Now, that's debatable.
Yes.
Right? I don't think Hit wants to get hit because he's not like a powerhouse, right? But I don't think he wants to get hit, but he wants to see Dispo throw those attacks so that way he can learn them, study them, and then improve and adapt to Dispo's speed. Ergo, what Topo was saying. So it just really depends on whether or not you're taking the subtitles out of context. Because see, even with subtitles, it will never justify or give you an exact explanation as the original language. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So obviously we don't understand Japanese, so we have to make the best of the subtitles. So Dispo goes to say that Hit, if you look closely, Hit is adapting to Dispo's speed. Could he be getting hit on purpose, which is suggesting that Hit is allowing Dispo to throw these attacks, and therefore he's studying them and he's improving and he's adapting to, and he's noticing that Dispo attacks exactly that Hit is too linear, he's too straightforward.
But I love how Topo actually acknowledged him, like, okay, this guy, we have to pay attention. And even the other gods of the Kaioken were like, okay, that's Universe 6's ace card. Maybe if we can ring him out with Goku, that takes away two of the biggest problems. But what I've noticed also, two things, is noticing how Hit was improving against Dispo little by little. If you notice really closely, Jiren's demeanor changed. He looked very, very concentrated, and he looked like he was not angry, but he was really focusing on Hit. Yeah, kind of like staring him down.
He's studying.
Oh, he's definitely studying. He has the biggest advantage. But also, one thing that did not make any sense in this episode to me is how come the most powerful being in existence cannot follow a simple fight?
Oh, he's not a fighter.
I understand he's not a fighter.
No. Yeah, he's not a fighter.
But that was
like,
come on, man.
And the Daishinkan, even the angels, they saw it. They can see it. Bado, she said she managed to see it as well.
Yeah, no, everyone saw it. Yeah.
Right. They're fighters. They're masters. Like, they train the Hakaishin. Like, it's nothing new. Even the Hakaishin.
It's just weird to me how the Grand Master, like, the king of everything, cannot possibly see it.
Sense. Yeah, he has no fighting. That's expected.
It's that little goofball couldn't see anything. He was like, what?
Yeah. I figured you would ask me. I was like, okay, well, it's...
that was just a little weird to me. I was like, I mean, if you want to portray yourself as the supreme being, even in actuality, you would have common sense to say, okay, well, if there was a supreme being, he would have, like, all senses heightened to, like, the max, so he can see and smell and hear everything, so that was a little off to me. And what I actually noticed was how the God Pad had, like, a replay, and I was like, wait a minute, so we have cameras in the tournament? Like, the way it was all, like, portrayed, I was like, what the... but it was wacky. But like, what did you think of God Goku not being used as much? Like, I mean, I like and I understand how he was shifting back and forth, but a lot of people wanted to see him use the God form a lot more. So, do you think we're going to see more of the God form be used here and there, or was this it? Just for
maybe it's damn. I would. Well, if that's how they're gonna
pointed it out, he was like, he's using it to, increase his power and speed to like a sufficient way and shifting from blue to red. So
as red, he's faster than Super Saiyan. But he can also preserve his energy. But blue gives him speed and power at the same time, simultaneously at the expense of stamina and energy. It's like I said. I mean, it's good. If you remember, I think it was on our video or it might have been the live stream. I said that I don't agree with Super Saiyan God Goku outshining Hit, especially if this is Hit's episode to shine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we didn't get that. Like, I'm glad that Hit, was the spotlight here.
It was balanced. I think it was really balanced. I really do.
So, it's expected. A lot of us did expect that. Well, the anime is gonna, rehash concepts from the manga, and why not? I mean, it's the perfect time to do that. I don't. To this day, I'm on the fence with you. I kind of agree with you with the whole idea of, well, why is he utilizing Super Saiyan God now? He could have just actually walked into the tournament with it.
Yeah, right.
You know, so he could have done it. He could have done it numerous times before against other major fights, for example. So, and he never did it. So it's like, But you gotta. I mean, I don't think like Akira and like the writers really, you know, I think they're not very literal when they really try to say, oh well, let's bring Super Saiyan God. Oh no, I haven't used it in a long time. No, he doesn't give a crap. He's just like, you know what? Let's just do what we did.
Okay. One thing I just want to address real fast is a lot of you guys were asking me, how did Goku do Super Saiyan God? There was no ritual. Okay, in the manga, and I understand not a lot of you read the manga, but do me a favor, just read the manga. In the manga, after learning Super Saiyan God, he has the ability to tap into this form. It was given to him, and he can achieve this in the manga at any given point. So again, this goes back to the anime and the manga. Whatever's being done, or whatever was done in the manga before, they're using that as an adaptation for the anime. So he knew about this form. He had this form the whole time, but there was just no need to use it, I guess, because Super Saiyan Blue was stronger, more sufficient. But which is why it's a little confusing. It's like, okay, so why are you using it now? It's meh. But it's more or less you don't need the ritual anymore once you already know it. I mean, that would have been a bummer. It's like, what is he gonna ask? Kale and Khalifa to round up Goku, Gohan, and you know, just Vegeta and who else? Just somebody else to get in a circle, and you know, they're not gonna do that in the tournament. Are you crazy?
Yeah, it's that, and I think another thing to consider is the fan base looks to. Well, I don't want to say like us, and then I'm talking about me, but I'm saying like you guys, right? The bigger guys.
Yeah.
On YouTube, the bigger Dragon Ball YouTubers who have a considerable amount of knowledge because they read the mangas, because they review movies, because they watch the series since day one, right? So you know, whoever it is you guys watch, for the most part of their, you know, since Dragon Ball Super has aired, especially the anime versus the manga, they were telling you that, well, the anime and the manga are two totally different adaptations, right? And you know, that's fine because everybody believed it because that's obviously what was happening.
Yeah,
you know, but once the Goku Black and Zamasu arc came to be in the manga, and the anime was already done with that, you know, that's when they started rehashing that concept and started bringing the story to catch up to each other.
Yes.
So I don't want to, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. It's, you know, everybody makes mistakes. It's okay to assume things. I just think that from here on out, it's better to perhaps say, you know, to give people a disclaimer that, listen, at the time of this video and at the current time of such and such, based on what is being portrayed, I'm making an educated guess. And as a result of this is the way that I feel is the best way to explain it to you guys. And then if there's any update to it later on, I'll be more than happy to fix my concept or fix my explanation.
And the thing is, the mangas really do have definitive info for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I feel like that should be taken upon into consideration because you can learn a lot. And I think that this arc so far, at least going further into this, they have to start adapting stuff in the manga because eventually at some point the manga is going to be ahead. So, you know, with that being said, you know, they're gonna have to like, you know, feed off that. But for next week's episode, going back to, you know, 105, I think 105 is gonna be like last week's episode, episode 103 and 102. It's gonna be like nice and easy and stuff because I firmly believe that the big stuff is coming, and you know, people they're really impatient, and sometimes so am I, and so are you, and so are a lot of people, and we want to see like really, you know, epic stuff, and it's gonna happen, and they're blue balling you right now. So, but you have to understand that there's still a lot of dudes left, and they have to ring out a lot of other, you know, fodder-like characters to make room for the heavy hitters. But I think that Master Roshi's definitely gone. It's well timed for him to go. He has to go, and I think that what follows after in the next couple of weeks is going to be more eliminations from Universe number 7 because they have to go, man. You have to start making room for other people. So. Again, guys, I do want to say thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe and check out Emish's channel, guys. I will leave a link down below. He covers various different analytical topics from Super Saiyan transformations to in-depth reviews and stuff like that, live streams. So make sure you guys go head on over and just subscribe to him and support his channel on over down there, guys. And thank you all for watching so much. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, leave a like down below. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Turn on notifications. That way you guys can be notified whenever a video is posted on the channel. And again, we'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a wonderful night, guys. Peace.
Alright, the ultimate hot suit battle begins. Go through and get joined forces. Yeah, let's go. Crazy to see this, man. Boy, I can't wait. Oh, there go this one. Ooh. They ain't wasting no time, kid. Nigga said that's right. Like, nigga, what you gonna do? But you've been using it the whole entire tournament. That's your secret weapon. What is it? Intense standoff? But they still in hella still. Time still. Ooh. Boy, no. Boy, let me find out hits. Boy, everybody shot kid. Shit, what's going on? He sweat bullets. Even Xeno like, oh no. Boy, kid, what's going on, my boy? Hit too quick. That dude said hit through 2 hits.
紙パッドに新機能を追加しました。こちらのスロー再生でご覧ください。
What? They what?
音速を超え、高速度も超えた。
Why they always gotta announce how they doing something? That's how they get beat. They always announce it something. Man, they showed the slow motion how they do it. Got it. Whoa. He said, bring it on, boy. I know how you doing it. Dang. Oh my God. Here, you going to bring something else to the table, my boy. Hit it. Oh, my boy. Oh, let me. Boy, Jaren always looking like he don't give a fuck. Whoa, now, boy. Oh, my boy. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm dead. Y'all too weak. Let's double team him. Ooh, let's go. That's my boy. That's my boy right there. Super Saiyan God Goku. Yeah. 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 Niggas, I ain't helping you. Boy, you're not gonna take out both of them. Ooh. Dang, that dude that fast, he countered his instant transmission. Ooh, that boy turned blue. Ooh, boy, I didn't know he could switch from red to blue like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then he went back red. Oh yeah. Ooh, let's go. Yeah, boy, he figured you out. He figured you out. What the? Yeah. But I think we were gonna hit, so I'll use it on you. Oh! Boy, he just blasted through here like. Oh yeah, my boy. Yeah, my boy, you over here, boy. Oh yeah, he done figured it out now. The fight is over. Jump off, my nigga. Jump off. Oh, I'll throw y'all. Oh, he said I'm gonna go sacrifice myself. Ah! Oh yeah, you're off. You're off. Get him! Y'all go hit. Oh, he got away, fool. 35 minutes left. Ciao.
Oh.